I am Magneto, master of movies. Welcome to Good Movie. Ha 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 ha.
I don't actually remember the song other than that opening.
Na 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 na. That's the.
We watched X-Men: The Dark Phoenix
And
enjoyed it.
what the hell's wrong with the critics? It's like it's good. It was better than Last Stand. I mean, I liked Last Stand, but I admit it was very, very flawed. But this one fixed almost all those flaws.
Indeed. Which, when comparing it to that movie, this is kind of leagues beyond.
Yeah. I mean, there was no, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
And thankfully. Even before the movie starts, I don't know if I've ever noticed this for an X-Men movie, but the intro credits have the logo of the Fox logo.
They all have
but
that.
Okay, the X turns into a flaming X.
Oh yeah, because in all the other ones, the X is just the last letter that fades.
Yes, but this one, it actually turns, they set the X on fire.
Well, sort of. They make it like glowing red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we basically, most people know if they've seen the X-Men movies, they generally know the kind of story we're getting into. But
yeah.
It
starts with a flashback
to 1975.
Basically around-ish the time, I think like shortly after the events of Days of Future Past.
Where Jean Grey and her family get in a car crash because Jean's not in control of her powers, and she's messing with the radio unintentionally.
And then she accidentally makes her mother fall unconscious.
Yeah, because
she was driving.
Yes. Which is, I don't know if that's. I'm not gonna complain about that being the 70s, but.
Well, seatbelts might have helped them.
True.
Also,
they kept arguing over music on the radio.
Oh yeah.
Like I think Jean wanted a different song, and her mother was like,
"When you're old enough to drive, you can listen to your own music.
Whatever you want." And her dad's like, "This is this is a classic, right?"
Yeah, but the vibe that I was getting from is at least they're better parents than the villain from Shazam.
Yeah. Well,
because that movie started in a very similar way, except his dad was a fucking jackass.
Yeah, and Jean Grey's dad was more mutant hating.
Well, not mutant hating, more mutant fearing.
Yeah,
she didn't want harm to come to anyone, even mutants. He was just like,
I can't handle her.
No one can. She's
too
powerful.
She's a mutant, yeah. Will you take the mutant away? Blah, blah, blah.
No, he didn't even say it like that. It's just, the only reason why he was afraid of her is because she's just too powerful, and she inadvertently,
killed his wife.
Yeah, and took everything from him, and I think he was legitimately sad that, in his words, he lost everyone, including that he lost her, in his opinion. Yeah. That at that point she was no longer his daughter.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
We should be holding Mjolnir, but oh well.
It wasn't necessarily the fact that she was just a mutant. It was the fact that she couldn't control her powers. I assume if she was a mutant that didn't have powers that were so destructive, or if she could control them, well, he wouldn't have had that attitude.
But it's like, as shown by the X-Men time and again, psychic powers are kind of the hardest to control.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not emotionally stable and anything can like mess you up. Having that kind of
like having Alzheimer's and seizures.
Yeah.
Logan.
Yes, that combined with psychic powers is just kind of the worst fate you can get. But then the movie cuts to, I think it was 1992.
Yes.
As in the present day. So basically 17. It's amazing how it took 17 years for her to lose her freckles.
Gingers often do though. When they age, when they grow into adults, they often do.
So now in 1992, the X-Men are beloved by all the humans. It's basically the perfect like.
They're essentially like the Avengers now.
As the X-Men story is about prejudice, this is basically the ultimate solution for what the X-Men would want: to be accepted by humans, to be loved by humans,
like the Avengers, basically.
To the point where it's gotten so good that everyone like. Professor X has a direct mental link to NASA, where he can just put on his head, "This is Charles Xavier. Tell me what's going on," and everyone accepts it.
And the president has a phone with an X on it, and like
direct
Incredibles.
Direct link to the president. It's like,
this is so Incredibles.
Everything has gone right for the X-Men.
Like this is the best. Right, though.
Yes, that's kind of the point of the that's the story they're telling.
To the point where Charles has let it no pun intended, go to his head.
Yes. But the X-Men are charged with actually going into space and saving people, like an actual mission. Yes. Like a ship comes into contact with what they think a shuttle is. Basically, they think it's a solar flare.
But when you see it, it's like, that's not a solar flare.
But it causes them to lose contact with the ship. Yeah. So the X-Men have to go up and actually save it. And they each use their powers to actually save the day. Yeah. Like in a smart way. Like,
I kind of like how basically they gave Storm, they just straight up gave her Iceman's powers.
Yeah. Because
half of what she does is aside from like
thunder and ice. Yes. So like she saves the ship. She basically
patches it up,
patches it with ice. The ship is spinning because one of its thrusters is firing wrong. So Scott has to fire his concussive beam.
Fire my laser
to hit the ship so it'll stop spinning.
Yeah, to hit that thruster, that engine.
And then Beast is the smart one, and Raven's also there as the team leader because she still is from it. Throughout the movie, it's shown just the descent, like how bad her relationship has gotten with Charles, like how much his view of what's going on is not the same as what everyone else sees.
Yeah, but we have to finish talking about the scene. It's important. So basically,
Nightcrawler has to teleport Quicksilver so they can save all the astronauts.
I was kind of hoping for another one of those, like in the previous two movies where like Quicksilver is for a solid 2 minutes just listening to music while just running around doing cool stuff. But
unfortunately, they wrote it so they didn't need that.
Yeah.
And also in this moment, it wouldn't have worked because they're literally like
it's just a space shuttle.
Yes.
There's not enough room to do that.
No, and there's not enough time because they're getting closer to the solar flare.
No, but I mean, like time is like nothing to him.
Yes.
That the previous movies have kind of shown that, but the story wasn't about him. That's more what it was about.
It's about Jean Grey.
They gave him a moment to kind of gloat a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did most of the work. It was mostly me.
Yeah. Like Jean did some, but it was most. But so they saved most of the astronauts, but they realized their captain wasn't with them, so they have to go back.
Yeah.
But the ship is falling apart, so they have to send Jean and Nightcrawler
because she can hold it together.
I liked how Quicksilver basically made him a spacesuit, but just put a helmet on him and just duct taped it. That was like a makeshift suit. That was pretty just so Nightcrawler could breathe, survive and not die. But they don't get Jean out fast enough, and the ship basically comes into contact with the solar flare.
It's not a solar flare.
No, it's not.
But she absorbed
it. They even, to the point, the thing with the time, they gave them basically 30 seconds to get in and get out.
Yeah.
To save the guy who was in a different part of the ship and get out. Yeah. So it's actually a good, something you probably would see in an X-Men comic or cartoon. Like one of these small missions they'll get up to when they're not fighting bad guys. It felt like X-Men, like an X-Men mission kind of thing.
Yeah. Or, like an Avengers mission.
Yeah. But the X-Men have constantly gone with the Avengers and against the Avengers. So. But, it absorbs into Jean, preventing her from dying. basically, because otherwise she would die. And they get her back on the ship thinking she's died, but she's not. So she comes. And when they get the point, this is where they start the tension between Raven and Professor X, because Raven wants to leave to protect the team, but Charles Xavier wants to protect everyone. He won't allow anyone, which is like they were going to leave the astronaut there and just go home. Yeah. 'Cause that's what Raven wanted. But so they had to go back and save him. So this causes tension between Raven and Charles.
But the thing is, neither of them were necessarily wrong.
No, they weren't.
Morally. I mean,
no,
Raven had the more logical approach, whereas Charles had the more...
He wants to make them look good by saving everyone, basically.
But it's not a bad way to do it.
No, it's not.
It's like no one gets left behind. That's a good moral to have.
Yes.
And basically...
But she doesn't take well to that.
But the thing is, these people all went up on this mission to do this job.
Yeah.
And if they... And they didn't... and Xavier didn't necessarily even force them to do it. Like... they had to come to a consensus and agree to do it, and they did.
Yeah.
So he didn't force them to.
No.
He just told them, "We can do this. Are you in?"
Yeah. It's just it caused a little bit of tension between them. It caused her to see him a little bit differently. Maybe
that wasn't what caused them. It was the fact that it was implied for years he'd been kind of letting the fame and the televising and stuff to go to his head.
Basically, what happens next? Because they land on Earth. Everyone's there. Everyone loves them. There's a kid dressed up in blue face paint.
Yeah.
Who it's obvious that he loves Nightcrawler, but I made the joke. Which one does he like? The blue one, the blue one, or the blue one? On the X-Men, it's literally Beast, whose fur and skin are blue, Raven, who's Mystique, who's also blue, and Nightcrawler, who's the son of Raven, who is also blue.
Dum-da-dee, dum-da-da, dum-da-dee, dum-da-da.
From what I recall, basically the son of her and Mephisto. One more day, yes. Because in the comics, Mephisto, he can't stay on Earth very long, so he has to create as many tethers back to the Earth. Some of them are rape.
I'm glad they did not include that in the series.
That is Nightcrawler's background. Like born from Mephisto and Raven.
I am so glad they did not put that in any movie ever.
No, I swear Mephisto has been in... He was in one of the X-Men movies.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't... Before Magneto got his helmet.
That wasn't Mephisto.
It basically is.
No, it wasn't Mephisto.
It was a red demon who has the exact same backstory.
Mephisto is the literal devil of the MCU.
And there was also a red devil. Okay, maybe.
He was just a mutant that kind of looked devil-like. No, Mephisto is the literal is the literal Marvel Satan. Basically just Satan with a different name. That's what he is.
I'm thinking of the mutant who's...
No, he's not Mephisto.
Okay, never mind.
That's not Mephisto.
But the backstory is for Nightcrawler. Just ignore Mephisto. We'll just
let's ignore it.
He's the son of that demon who has to pop between Earth and his own realm.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. So they get back to the mansion, and they're doing basically routine stuff like. They don't understand what happened to Jean, so they're going to check on her and make sure she's okay. Like this stuff all makes sense. You would do that.
Also, there's like a big party, welcome party, because we're heroes, yay!
Yeah. So he can't. Beast can't find anything wrong with her, but he notices that her powers have increased. For
9,000.
Basically off the scale, and he makes the joke. It's sort of a joke, but he's like, "I need to make a new machine." His machine, I guess, his machine...
It's off the charts. It's over 20,000. Metachlorians.
But also, because of this, Jean has... Her character has been...
Jean. Genetics.
Oh, yes.
Her name is a pun.
Yes. But she's also gotten more... Like, her character has been transformed by what happened to her. Like, she became more confident in herself.
As the
she
movie
was-
put it, she evolved.
Yeah. Press B to cancel. Cancel. I canceled that.
No, you didn't. I finished. Too late.
But that's kind of the thing when you think about the X-Men. It is the design of like mutation of supposed to be like the next form of evolution. Like that's part of the X-Men's backstory, really. And that's kind of why humanity feared them.
Oh wait, that has blue in it. That won't work.
Yeah, was because they were supposedly, in the humans' ideas, the next step of human evolution, and humanity is afraid of what's to come, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's why they're afraid of the X-Men, but not all superheroes, because superheroes are like accidents. Like, it's not guaranteed. Like, it happens randomly when the X-Men is kind of.
Well, the thing is, even some of those superheroes were kind of, people were dubious about them too.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, because, J. Jonah Jameson keeps throwing slander around about him. And the Hulk, because, well, Hulk smash.
Yes.
Both of them were exposed to radioactive accidents, and yeah.
People were more willing to cheer for them after a while when most of the X-Men don't in the comics.
Not so much the Hulk.
They're willing to accept because he helps out with the Avengers. They're still afraid of him, but they're
Planet Hulk. World War Hulk.
That's what can happen.
And what did happen. Yeah, no, in the comics, the Hulk is, people are afraid of the Hulk. Because he's the Hulk.
Not always. They could be not really afraid of Bruce Banner.
Yeah, but at any point he
can.
can become the Hulk. Unless it's Avengers Endgame, in which case he's Professor Hulk, but
But I'm trying to think about it. Yeah, we get the first scene of Charles and Raven arguing with each other, where I'm trying to remember exactly how it happened.
Well, basically she was just, complaining to him that he's putting his public image before the safety of the X-Men.
Yeah.
And his argument is that their public image is the only thing keeping humanity from turning on them again.
Which that is
again, both there's no right and wrong here.
No,
they're both valid points.
Yeah.
There are instances where people take their points a bit too far, and then they, apologize and realize that they did that. But the points themselves are not necessarily wrong.
No. But, right, because at the party, she's drinking a lot.
Because she's really thirsty, because fire.
Well, yeah. That and she's grown more confident in, she starts more acting, I'd say more openly, more open.
And if we'll address the camera shot in the room.
The fan service?
One of the main criticisms I've noticed about this movie is people are claiming it has some sort of feminist agenda. I'm looking at this like, what feminist agenda? This is kind of... I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing something else, but I'm not seeing a feminist agenda.
There's multiple camera shots throughout the movie where it shows... It's basically a three-quarter shot, but her boobs are as present as they can be and, highlighted, basically. Where she's not wearing a bra, and, it's pointedly that they're there. That they're there to... Even if they're covered up by a shirt.
Yeah.
So during the party, her powers show the first sign of being uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Where she basically, something happens to trigger her. I can't remember exactly the stimulus.
She's seeing the because there's a bonfire in the middle of because they're outside all dancing, and she sees the bonfire, and that bonfire reminds her of that Phoenix Force thing that she absorbed.
Yeah, and there's also Dazzler singing.
Yeah.
And lighting things up around her, and that kind of sets her off where she basically sends out a wave of energy, knocks everyone back.
And then they discover through another medical scan that actually not a medical scan, a cerebro scan that we get the big bombshell that basically the same thing from X-Men Last Stand, only here is done better.
Yeah, her father survived the car accident.
And
Charles has been hiding that from her. He basically put up mental walls to protect her. He thinks he's protecting her from the pain, when honestly he's just not allowing her
to grieve.
Yeah, so it built up in her, and the Phoenix Force is using that.
Yeah.
And it also, Scott Summer, they made a point of, he got sent back by it, and he got injured a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't even really call it an injury, it's more just a scrape.
Yeah, but to her,
a bruise.
To her, she's like, it shows she actually cares about him, because she didn't, she saw it and she got scared because she did that.
I mean, I've had worse shaving cuts than that.
Yeah, but she normally doesn't hurt her friends. The point is, she's not used to that. She got scared of the fact that she's hurting the people around her. To the point where she even got to, the Phoenix Force got so powerful that Charles couldn't get in her head without Cerebro.
And even then, he had to crank Cerebro up to the max to the point where his nose started bleeding.
Almost where he basically knocked himself out, or she knocked him out.
Yeah.
And the whole time, Beast and Raven are standing there watching this, they're with him, experiencing this. And Raven is getting more angry at him. Because she doesn't like the fact that he did this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And basically, not only is Raven upset with him, but then after this, we will get to it.
Yes. So, she basically flies off.
Jean
flies
off.
Jean flies off. She forces him out of her mind.
Yeah.
Or the Phoenix does. And she goes off to see her father because she gets the feeling that her father's alive.
Yeah.
So she goes to the small town where he lives. It's very similar to The Last Stand. The Last Stand did basically the same thing.
Except there was no family.
Yeah.
We didn't even see her family in The Last Stand.
She just went to her childhood home in that.
Yeah.
Here she actually goes to confront her father. And actually has a bit of development where she's...
Well, it's a little bit awkward, but at first it looks like, oh, well, it's a reunion, and but then...
she looks around and sees
that there's no pictures
of
her, yeah.
In her mind, her father didn't care for her.
And then he outright confesses that she was the reason he lost everything, and he couldn't bear it.
Yeah. So now she's getting mad, and she's losing control. The X-Men show up.
So basically the house starts shaking, and we're thinking, oh crap, it's gonna go Last Stand, but no, she's like, it's not me, it's them. It's the
Quinjet shaking the... So she leaves to see everyone there. Beast, Cyclops, Storm, who's also... Well, she's been here, but she hasn't really done much.
Yet.
Yeah. There wasn't even a point...
We get moments to shine, though.
Oh, I'm thinking of later, but we'll talk... And Raven. So the main five, the main cast are there. And she's basically lost control at this point. She's not really there. It's more the Phoenix taking over, and she's not...
But it's still not quite full X-Men Last Stand.
It never gets there. She never fully loses control.
In Last Stand, she just first of all, we have no idea why she was we don't see who was living in that house at that point, if she killed them or whatever. It doesn't even get addressed. Yeah. Because after all that time, somebody else would have been living there, but nope, it's just her in that movie. And then she just frickin' lifts the house off the foundation, and Thanos dusts Charles. But in this one,
she actually has the X-Men try and fight her. Charles tries to help her by...
Basically, but she still tries to contain it.
Yes.
She's not full crazy like the one from last. We keep comparing to Last Stand,
because this is the exact same storyline, just done better.
Yeah.
We can't.
Whereas in Last Stand, it was just she was just crazy.
This has the same screenwriter who wrote The Last Stand.
But I guess he learned from his mistakes.
So, yeah, but this time he also directed The Last Stand. Dark Phoenix. He actually he went from screenwriter of that movie to screenwriter and director of this one. But no, the X-Men actually try and fight her not hurt her. They just try and get her to calm down, basically.
So
But
the sun's getting real low.
Yeah, but none of them are successful because she can just push them away with ease.
Because Hulk smash.
Like, Quicksilver tries to get close to her by running up basically rubble.
But then she pulls a Superman and is like.
Or she just moves it out of the way so he just falls.
That very much reminded me of the Justice League movie when the Flash tried to run around Superman, but he's just like.
Yeah.
It was very much like that.
But so in the end, she starts to come down, and Raven is doing a good job of talking her down, talking about family and how she should come home. They can be there for her. When, unfortunately, Jean pushes her away into spikes.
Yeah.
Which go right into her torso.
Yeah.
Which does actually snap her out of it. Like she immediately A is regretful, B doesn't understand what she just did.
Yeah.
But it's a very good character moment for Jean. It shows how much power the Phoenix has, but or can have, because throughout the movie she never goes full last stand. She's always
You never go full last stand.
She's always somewhat in control, but always she doesn't want to do. Unless she's being manipulated, by the end, she really doesn't want to do, she doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
But she realizes what just happened to Raven, so she flies away, and Beast is the one to comfort Raven, because he runs right up to her.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she dies.
Well, yeah.
But
it was a much more dignified death than any of the deaths in
It was dignified, and it played so much into the rest of the movie to the point where it basically set everything off. It's honestly one of the best ways you could kill a movie character if you feel the need to.
Yeah, I mean, but as opposed to The Last Stand, where in the first 10 minutes, as soon as it's revealed that Jean Grey / the Phoenix is still alive, it's she kisses Scott and then off screen he's dead. Just dusted. Like Thanos.
Throughout the rest of this maybe 10 minutes of movie, everyone is mourning her. Everything is played on how important Raven was to everyone. And to be honest, if you look at it, Raven is the one whose death would have the most effect on the rest of the X-Men. She's the one who's cared about by not Charles, because they're basically adopted relatives. He brought her in. Beast, because he was in love with her.
Even Magneto,
because she was with him for a time.
Yeah.
He grew attached. It didn't as much affect Scott, but he understood the significance of it.
Yeah.
He didn't need to mourn as much
because he's in love with Jean, so he's got a bit of a bias.
But it's still understood that he's basically Jean's emotional center through this movie, where he shows some emotion where he wants to protect Jean. He wants her to he wants to get help.
He attack, he protect, he shoot laser out his eye.
That doesn't unfortunately work as well as the meme normally goes. But
speaking of that, I couldn't not see him as Percival from Ready Player One, because his visor looks it just looks like that VR headset from all the posters of the Ready Player One movie. It's the same actor. I just keep seeing Percival.
Yeah. And they gave Raven a respectable death. They buried her. They showed everyone mourning her, even all the students.
And of course, it's in the rain with umbrellas because that's trope.
Yes, because sometimes tropes work.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that trope because it shows just how important, how sad death actually is. But this is the catalyst for separating Beast and Charles. Because Beast just can't handle it.
Yeah, basically he's brooding in the kitchen, drinking. And then
Charles chairs in. He chairs in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can use chair as a verb. But he chairs in. He
On the
rolls
internet,
in.
everyone will use anything as a verb.
He rolls in and he starts drinking as well. He takes out a bottle and pours himself. But basically, Beast has seen the same things Raven has seen. And Beast thinks the same thing Raven thinks.
And
To the point-
basically he said, like, you know, I should have seen it. Raven wanted to leave, and I didn't. I should have left with her. I should have.
I told her to stay.
Yeah, and then
They're like, admit you were wrong, Charles. Just once, admit you were wrong. And Charles can't do it.
not
He
yet.
doesn't think he's wrong. In his mind, he's not. He hasn't done anything wrong.
So internet.
But that causes Beast to go to Magneto. We'll see it in a bit, but it separates Beast off from the main X-Men for a bit.
Oh wait, before Beast.
I know, we still have to talk.
Yeah, Jean actually.
Yes, Jean goes to Magneto.
Basically, they have this little. It's
almost a
Genosha.
refugee area.
Yeah, it's not Genosha, but it's this little.
It's the government has given him a plot of land.
Yeah. As a sanctuary for mutants, you know, mutants that don't necessarily want to go to the X-Men, who just want to hang out and not be X-Men.
And Jean, well, it's shown she's actually cried a couple of times for for what she's done. Like, it actually
There's a big running thing of the blood on her
for at least this moment on right where her boobs are. So she goes to Magneto, and he says, like,
whose blood
is that? She will not. She tries to deflect the question as much as possible.
Yeah.
She tries to get Magneto help because she doesn't want to do this stuff. She wants to understand how to stop.
And basically, his speech was that, you know,
I just stopped.
Well, basically, it was the whole thing. Revenge is not really.
It's pointless.
But unfortunately, that's not
good enough for her.
No, it's not that it's not good. It's that it's different. She's not. She's not doing anything for revenge. She's doing
scared
because
she can't control her powers.
Yeah, because
and she wants to understand how to stop.
And at this point, Magneto didn't understand that was the case. That what that was. He just assumed, well, okay, you got angry and you hurt someone,
and he wants to see her angry.
He wants to know what happened. Like he wants her to.
Oh, we also have a side plot we have to bring up. I'm pretty sure it's happened by now. Aliens crash land in a rich person's backyard.
Yeah. they're kind of such forgettable villains. I forgot to mention. They're basically the Skrulls, but with a healing factor, super strength, and no personality.
They play into the movie basically as the antagonist for the X-Men to fight.
They feel like something the studio kind of forced in.
They do.
That's really the only criticism I'll give of this. But they're not horrible or anything. They're certainly interesting in how strong and intimidating they are, but they're just so generic.
And I'm kind of glad they're there
blatantly evil.
Just so that the rest of the movie isn't the X-Men fighting each other.
Yeah.
Like there's a bit of
humans.
that. Yeah, or humans. I'm glad they're there just so that X-Men can have somebody else to fight.
But that's basically all they are. It's just an antagonist for the X-Men.
And they're showing...
At least the Skrulls in Captain Marvel had personality, and so did the Kree.
Yeah.
They had charm.
They're there after the Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
They want Jean Grey.
Very, very one-dimensional kind of alien invaders.
Yes. So, at this point, they can also kill humans by giving them a stomach ache?
Well, I think it's implied that at least that particular one has
just
some telekinetic powers.
She just twists the guy or just pushes in so we don't actually see.
Which was Jean's father.
Oh yeah. She was
interrogating him.
Yeah, to find out about Jean, and then it's so easy. It's so much harder to learn your language when you're screaming, and then she pushes it in and he screams and dies off with cut away. They didn't even show it. They just cut away from it. But they take human forms basically.
Yeah. So again, like I said, they're just like Skrulls without the personality.
So at this point for Jean, the army show up because plot convenience news. They want to arrest her for destroying the
yeah, well, basically
destruction of property
and just not just the destruction of property. She destroyed some cop cars. And it was heavily implied that those cops were severely injured or killed.
So and they immediately set up basically the idea of internment camps for mutants.
Well, it was implied that that was set up just in case.
Yeah.
And was already being used for mutants who are still committing crimes, because that will happen.
Yeah. But, so a couple helicopters come to arrest Jean.
Basically, it's implied to probably be the icebox from Deadpool 2.
Yeah, probably. So, and then we get another showcase of Jean's powers where she crashes one of the helicopters.
Wait, this was at Magneto's sanctuary.
Yes.
We need to specify where and when everything is taking place. We tend to jump around.
But also, I think this is one of my favorite portrayals of the military. Like in this moment, like the best dialogue. He's like,
"We're not here for you.
No,
we're here
Magneto
for
walks in.
her."
He's like, "We're allowed to this land. The government gave us this land." He's like, "I know. You're fine. We just want Jean Grey." Like it's the best you could ask for those kinds of characters.
Yeah.
Like I like that because it's just we're here for Jean. We're not here for you. Just give us her, and we'll go.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even say no. He doesn't do anything to. Magneto doesn't do anything to. He's like, you know who I am. And like, I know, but we're not here for you. We don't want to start a fight. We just want Jean because she's done this stuff. But then she shows up and just basically she wrecks one of the helicopters, essentially killing the guys inside. We don't know. But
I think that helicopter was actually empty.
Possibly. Oh yeah, it might have been the one where the guys came out of.
Yes.
But she just crashes it, and then she tries to bring the other one closer to, I guess, essentially kill the guy with its helicopter blades.
Yeah.
Where Magneto has to put all his power into it just to push it away.
And keep in mind, in the previous movie, we saw him moving the core of the Earth.
And she is stronger than him. He's barely able to push the helicopter back. Even to the point where, like...
But then again, his powers do seem a little bit nerfed in this movie. Just a little bit.
I'm guessing over the years he's wanted to, he just wanted to live a normal life, so he's probably not used his powers, and he's just wanted to keep them under wraps.
He's tried to... He's nerfed himself.
But it's another thing to show how strong the Phoenix Force is. If it can Magneto is not able to overwhelm it or overpower it. He's just able to push it away and stop Jean from killing them.
Yeah, and basically he says, "Everyone get in the chopper. I can't hold it for long." And they all get on board, and they just whoosh.
So it leaves, and she leaves because she's not happy with him. And
yeah. Well, no, because he tells her to leave.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like...
So she's like, "I thought you were protecting mutants." I am. From you.
Yeah. Because Magneto still had some character development to go through, just like Charles.
So then she leaves, and she goes to a bar. Basically is disguised as an old man.
Yeah.
Which was, really? Is that a power she has?
No, it's not that she's a shapeshifter. It's that because of her psychic powers, that she also has powers similar to Charles Xavier. She can make people think she's someone else.
Yeah.
It wasn't that she was physically changing her appearance. She was changing how people saw what she looked like.
Yeah. Basically, I imagine Superman could use that to hide himself.
Superman isn't psychic, though.
No, I know he's not.
He's immune to psychic powers, but he is not himself.
No,
psychic.
I mean that would be a good idea for him to use to hide his identity. I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying if for some reason the writers needed a way, he
has enough powers as it is.
Not pre-crisis, because they just kept giving him shit pre-crisis.
Yeah, like sneezing the solar system away.
So she goes to the bar and she's met by the lead alien, who convinces her that convinces her that everyone's afraid of her.
Basically she's this alien is palpatining it up.
Yes, she's manipulating Jean into believing her and that she's there to help her.
And
where everyone else
and basically saying things like, you are superior to anything. You are the ultimate being in the universe. Embrace it.
Basically giving the personality created by the Phoenix Force as much as it wants. Like feeding the Phoenix's ego.
Like Ego the Living Planet.
Yeah. But at the same time, Beast has taken the Quinjet to Magneto. And he wants Magneto's help finding Jean after he tells Magneto that Raven was killed by Jean.
Yeah.
Because Jean refused to tell him.
Well, for obvious reasons, because
he would want to kill her as he does.
Yeah. And that's what they set out to do.
Yeah. Beast has gotten a little bit angry.
Yeah.
Overboard with anger. And
Beast smash.
Which Charles realizes because Scott went looking for Beast and couldn't find him. And Scott, I think Scott did good in this movie.
Yeah.
With what little he had, I think he did well. At least the actor did.
Yeah. My only problem is that I could not unsee Percival.
I think at this point I just ignored it or just forgot.
I tried to, but I'm just like, it's Percival.
Yeah. So the Queen alien basically takes her to New York, their homestead, their home building, with the rest of them. Because there was also a scene where she went talking to other aliens about the Phoenix
and that they're basically their homeworld is destroyed, so
and they want to
turn this one into their new homeworld.
Yes. Kill us all.
Later in the movie, the main alien actually freaking admits that's her plan to Charles.
Yeah, because Charles. Well,
because they're so transparently evil and without any complexity whatsoever.
But everyone tracks Jean to New York, so it's basically everyone goes in. Magneto and Beast and two of Magneto's refugees. A guy whose power has something to do with hair.
Yeah, his hair is like
he uses it as a weapon.
Things. Yeah.
And another. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand. It's like I didn't understand, but I'm like, oh, okay. Because he was there, he talked to Jean, like he played a bit role, and like he actually had a couple of speaking lines, but and then he had. Magneto had another woman who had a knife who wasn't explained her power, but it was implied that she was a psychic as well.
Yeah, her powers are similar to Xavier's, and I think she's probably that same woman from Last Stand, that same character who joined up with Magneto's force and had. She could identify mutants.
Maybe. But they're showing her powers by basically, he tells him to be calm but ready, and she like thinks that basically, and it isn't until the fighting that her powers are actually shown.
Yeah.
But like so, initially Charles just wants to go with Scott and Nightcrawler, but
Storm says like, I'm coming with you, so we get that trope.
End of discussion.
Yeah,
because Storm has a little bit of dialogue with Cyclops where Cyclops wants to deny, like he's in denial that Jean killed Raven, and he doesn't want to admit to himself that Jean could have done that.
I mean, he saw it happen, but he said that wasn't Jean. That was whatever
he's in denial.
Yeah.
He's in denial. When Storm's like, no, that could have been her. Sometimes we don't see what people are until it's too late. Basically saying, get it together.
Yeah.
But so she goes, like all four of them go, and they all meet and they all fight Magneto, who before he left took out a secret box, opened the box to reveal his helmet.
I am Magneto, master of helmet. Ha 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 ha.
And obviously I made this, but like, where's my red spray paint? Because obviously, in about 10 years, I think, was the first X-Men was 2002, I think.
Well, the thing is, in every single movie, his outfit looks a little bit different. So it's
yeah. I'm just thinking of the comics and the TV show where he had a red and purple helmet.
Yeah.
That's because it's still gray. It's black basically.
Well, in the First Class series, that helmet wasn't originally his. It belonged to the villain Sebastian Shaw, whom he killed.
Yes,
for revenge.
I'm just saying his helmet is black. At least I think it's black. It's a weird color of like gunmetal gray-esque. I don't care who.
Would you prefer red and yellow and black spandex?
No, but they do wear they do wear their blue with X going right here throughout the movie, the X-Men.
Yeah. So it's a nice compromise. It still looks good without looking like... What the hell was with the outfits in the 90s show? The 90s cartoons. Some of them were...
It was based off...
the
time what was the most popular X-Men story.
And 90s.
Yeah.
just highly concentrated 90s.
Dude!
Yeah.
Sewing machine! So, this chunk is just basically one big fight between...
Yeah.
Scott... Well, it's Scott and Storm fighting the two Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, basically.
Well,
they're not evil, but that's the only way I can...
Well, actually, Beast kind of took Magneto's side during this scene.
Yes, he fought them too, so it was...
Because he was sort of like...
disgruntled by what Charles had become.
And not just that, but he was kind of craving a little bit of revenge for Raven, for Mystique.
Which did blind him to the fact that Jean Grey is still a friend, even if she accidentally killed somebody.
Yeah.
Like, she's still family. Like, the idea is throughout the movie it's talked about family. Like, family is more important.
Family.
Like, to the X-Men, family is more important.
Yeah.
To Charles, popular opinion is more important, but to the rest of them, family is more important.
Well, Charles does come around.
Yes, he does, but that's most of his character. The beginning was he cared more about the popularity than the
Well, his argument wasn't that it wasn't for him, it was for all mutant kind, that basically they need that popularity to stave off, more wars.
Mm. But he's also the only one who gets to talk to the president or gets to go to these fancy...
Has his own, X phone.
Yeah. Like, he goes to some award ceremony or something.
Yeah.
Which is where he is when they fight, I'm trying to remember at what point he went to the thing, but he had to leave because of Jean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, during the bonfire party.
Yeah.
He went to some fancy ceremony and made fun of the people basically for what they used to call him. He basically has a line that, you call us superheroes. Even though I don't understand what that means, it's better than what you used to call us. Basically, his arrogance has gone to his head, and he's like, hey, who has the power now, bitches? To all these people that are dressed up. And
yeah.
So they're fighting, and he's trying to get in the building, because Magneto's already gone into the building to confront Jean. And try and kill her.
We have a difference of opinion on what actually happened here.
Oh, yeah.
We're both going to explain it our own way. I'll start first. He takes part of the metal railing and tries to stab her in the face with it. My theory is that he really was trying to do that, but she just was too powerful and just, stopped it right in front of her eyeball. She just to taunt him, she let him get it that close and then just said, nope, I'm too powerful.
And my thought was maybe he couldn't actually bring himself to kill her. Like, she was mocking him, saying he couldn't do it. But maybe he did actually, some part of him stopped himself from killing her. because throughout the movie, she's shown by using her powers by just moving her hands and flicking people away. Where at the time, she was just standing there letting it happen, not doing anything, but it stopped her. So it could be somewhere in the middle, but I actually kind of like the idea that it's a gray area and each person can come up with their own idea of what happened. Like,
maybe it's a little bit of both. He still intended to do it, but he hesitated.
yeah. It allows you to think, which is good.
Yeah.
It allows you to come up with your...
It left it ambiguous.
Yeah, which is something good, because it allows you to come up with your own idea of what happened.
Again, my only thing is that if he was really, you know, going full Magneto, why did he just try to use the one railing? He could have taken all the metal in that building and thrown it at her. Mm. He's Magneto. He can do that, but he
even right before that, he lifted a train out of the ground.
Yeah, a subway car.
Yes. Because Charles has been trying to get in the building before this, but he keeps being stopped by... Because he's trying to get Nightcrawler to teleport them in, but the psychic woman is stopping him by, like, doing something to Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
And she has a knife. I guess she's trying to kill him. I'm not...
I don't know. It's not made clear what... Yeah,
she's just there. She's just stopping them.
Yeah.
Basically. But eventually they knock her out because Cyclops is eye-beaming everyone.
Yeah.
You get an eye-beam. You get an eye-beam. Everyone gets a beam to the face.
I'm a farm laser.
So Charles is actually able to better calm down Jean because the alien has been, yes, as we said, the alien has been convincing her that she's better than them and that they're there to kill her. But Charles has her read his mind because she's almost killing Charles.
Yeah.
And
she's almost pulling a last stand. Yes, we're bringing that up again.
But it's better done because she's conflicted. The idea is that she reads his mind and she sees everything that her father said and all the dialogue that we hadn't actually been shown at that point. Like they kept some of the dialogue.
Yeah.
They showed only some of it earlier, but this time they showed the full conversation, and it was enough to convince Jean that to stop.
Yeah, basically, Charles is saying a thing about hope.
Yeah. And
that there's still hope.
Because we are the last hope. Or, what was this? Oh, we are a new hope. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But it's able to snap Jean out of it to the point where she gets scared again because she doesn't want the power because she doesn't want to hurt her family.
And so the alien lady says, then I will take it.
And starts absorbing it.
But that's when she, basically confesses, oh, and by the way, I'm going to destroy all of you.
Yeah, because Charles looks at her, he's like, what are you? Because he obviously knows it's not... Because earlier she said, oh, Jean, you can't read my mind like them. She's immune to Jean's psychic powers. They're immune to psychic powers, basically. And he can't read her mind either, but he's like, you're going to kill us all. She's like, yes.
I am. And so blatantly, just straightforward, honesty.
And if they try and... Charles tries to get Jean to let go, because if she takes the power, she's basically going to kill Jean in the process.
But she can't at that moment, so in comes...
Cyclops!
Yeah, laser, and blasts the alien away, but she's already taken some of the power.
Yeah.
She already has some of it.
Which, thankfully, it doesn't kill Jean. She just knocked unconscious. But at that point, also, earlier, the military had shown up.
Well, yeah.
Yes, obviously, but the military showed up and started stunning everyone, branding all the mutants, paralyzing them, basically.
Yeah.
And that's a weird transition. They literally, the guy walked all the way up to the stairs, shot them, and it faded to white.
Well, it's because they were knocked unconscious. It was from the perspective of someone being knocked unconscious.
Yes. But
the character whited out.
It's like, even if my Pokemon all wipe out, I should be able to punch you in the face. But so then they cut to...
Yeah, why don't Team Rocket carry guns again? Anyway.
Because every bad guy in the Pokemon universe is an idiot. Nobody understands how to actually be evil in that universe. So then we cut to a train for the last portion of the movie.
Yeah. The train, transporting them to what we can only assume is the ice box.
Yeah, because they even had collars on and their ankles, wrists, and neck, which looked very similar to Deadpool's
They should have tried the combination 7.
Like super. It looked like they were the power inhibitors.
Yeah.
Which would make sense as a nice kind of connection between Deadpool and the X-Men, considering how many times he's made fun of the X-Men.
Yeah. This chair smells like Patrick Stewart.
But basically, the rest of the aliens now, they attack the train, trying to get a Jean.
Yeah.
Because she's still unconscious, but they're trying to get...
At first, the military thought it was more mutants, but all the mutants in the train, those are not mutants. You need our help. These are not...
They quickly realized, oh crap, we're boned. Even the guy was a little bit racist. He's like, oh, more muties come here to save you. Like one of the military guys, like... Even one of the other military guys was like, my son used to look up to you. And I swear that's alluding to the... My idea was they're alluding to the fact that the kid in the parade with the blue face paint, but
that was a white kid.
No, I know, but and the officer who said that line was black.
Yeah.
It would have made sense if they were trying to allude to that kid, because he said it right to Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so they start breaking the train and killing guys, and
finally,
one of the guys is like, "Oh crap! Release the X-Men!"
Yeah.
Which was an awesome moment. Because they all stood in their positions with like everyone there ready to fight. Like everyone as a team again. Like
we get to see just how powerful these aliens are, because like somebody, one of the soldiers unloaded an entire like AK-47 clip into one of them, and he just sort of like T-1000 Deadpool healed.
Yeah.
But we are shown that if you have a big enough gun, you can actually take these things down.
Yeah, they're not invulnerable.
They're not indestructible.
No.
They're just very, very hard to kill.
But some of the best like character moments actually came from this without any dialogue, because something sets Nightcrawler off. He just like...
Oh yeah, it was that guy who said that...
oh yeah.
That his son looked up to him, and then one of the aliens kills him. Yeah.
Or attacked him.
And Nightcrawler tries to save him, but he's too late.
Yeah. But it sends him into a fury where he grabs a couple knives and just teleports around the person. Stab, 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 stab.
And then does a really badass thing where he teleports one alien in front of the train and then teleports away.
And like he cuts another one's throat with his tail.
Yeah.
Like that was like the most badass Nightcrawler's been.
Yeah.
Like throughout the movie, Nightcrawler, while he hasn't many lines, he's had like, some, but he's been more a means to an end of getting people places.
Yeah.
Because since Beast took the Queen,
he's the teleport. He's the transporter.
Yeah.
Beam me up, Nightcrawler.
Yeah. At one point, even Charles, like they go to New York, because even though Beast is taking the Quinjet, Charles is like, close your eyes.
I'll show you where you need to go.
Like that is actually a cool use of their powers together.
Yeah.
But so they're all fighting. It's not really going well, but they're at least killing some. But there's way too many of them. Like you kill one, and they're five or 10 behind it, basically.
Yeah.
When Scott and Charles have gone to Jean to try and wake her up, basically. But at this point, the lead alien shows up.
Well, not before that. One of the that other psychic lady bites it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sort of a just throwaway. Like she didn't really have many lines, so it's not like. And Magneto is like, I can't remember her name, but he calls out her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
it was unfortunate that it was a throwaway death for the sake of a throwaway death.
Yeah, but she wasn't really much of a character.
No. But it isn't pretty awesome continuous fight though. Like
Yeah,
it looks
basically-
really good and like it's choreographed well.
Yeah, basically, and like to get rid of all the rest of the alien goons. Magneto, yeah, he traps them inside one of the
Train
empty
car.
cars and just.
Like he barely has to do anything. He's so badass. He just and the train just flies away.
Because I am Magneto, master of magnet.
Oh, and it should have been mentioned when he went to kill Jean Grey, she broke his helmet and stabbed him with it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have his helmet anymore.
Yeah.
They never brought up in the movie the fact that the helmet prevents his mind from being read. Like that.
It wasn't really a point that needed to be brought up, though.
It's just I'm so used to that because that's kind of the point of the helmet.
I think in this case he just wore it more as a symbol.
Of
Basically saying, I'm Magneto and I have returned.
If you've seen
to be Magneto.
If you've seen the meme, he basically grabs his helmet and goes, "Oh shit, here we go again."
I was surprised that he didn't levitate the helmet out of the box because it's metal. He could have done that. Like that would have been in his character to do, but no, he just picks it up. So I think this is symbolizing that he's more restrained with his powers now. He only uses them when he needs to. He used to just use them willy-nilly on everything, when using his hands would have worked just fine, but now he doesn't do that anymore. He only uses his powers when he needs his powers.
Yeah.
So basically he's much more restrained with them.
Yeah, so the Queen Alien shows up and starts knocking everyone out, like beats Beast, Nightcrawler, Storm.
Yeah,
Storm,
because she has
the Phoenix.
Some of it.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Oh, and she also showed Jean like a flashback to when she got the Phoenix of like she explained the Phoenix of what it is.
Exposition.
Yes, on how it's destroyed many planets, which is the best way you could like sacrifice the story from the comics, but also like reinterpret it.
Yeah.
Because the story is Jean went and destroyed a planet, killing a lot of people, and was sentenced to like by cosmic jail or cosmic trial or whatever. This was the best, I'm gonna say, best way to not have to do that, but still show that element. Was the Phoenix just destroying planets without Jean until it found Jean,
and then not having it just be Jean's crazy now.
Yes.
I'm joking up.
Like it's specifically shown throughout the movie that she doesn't like the power, even though it gave her more confidence. She doesn't like it because it's causing her to hurt people.
Yeah.
Like I thought they did her character
Kind of like
very
Venom.
well. Yeah. Except even in the comics, at one point, Venom, Eddie Brock just accepted Venom, and like sure he turned anti-hero, but at the time he just
even in the movie Venom they did that.
Yeah. But like, I really think they did. This is the best movie of the early X. I don't want to say the new X-Men trilogy or something, but
the prequel, the X prequels.
But it's the best characterization Jean's had.
Yeah.
Basically throughout all of the movies.
Actually, yeah, for Jean Grey, yeah.
Like
what's weird is that in X-Men Apocalypse, I didn't think they portrayed her well at all, but I think that was just because of bad direction. She's a great actress. I mean,
they're actors. They call them. The actor is not supposed to be gender specific.
It used to be, but yeah,
it's just used as the general term.
Yeah.
But
they used to be, but
yes.
It's different. But whatever. Yeah, basically, in X-Men, like because she's great as Nebula in the MCU. She was great as one of the Doctor's companions in Doctor Who.
You have to give her a good script for actually to get the best out of her.
And a good director.
Yeah. And it actually showed in how much emotion you not only she felt, but I felt for Jean. Like it was easy
with blood on her boobs.
I wasn't feeling her that way. Honestly, I was trying. I was trying to ignore the fan service. I was trying to ignore it. Like I didn't want that, but it did a good job of making you feel for Jean and how horrible what she's going through is.
Yeah.
And it did a good job of also making you a little bit annoyed with Charles on how much of a dick he was being at the start.
Yeah.
And he also got the wrap up of his character in the train scene where he apologized to Hank because he was like, I was wrong.
Yeah. And as much as I've been kind of riffing on the aliens for being generic and one-dimensional, they're at least threatening and intimidating.
Yeah.
Because they're really freaking tough.
Yeah.
They I said,
that was such an amazing scene. The Queen Alien walks up to Magneto, and he pulls every single gun in the train car, directs them at her, and just starts firing.
And she's just like, like freaking Superman, they just do nothing.
They hit her body, but she doesn't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, healing factor.
Yeah. And then she just moves past him, knocks him out of the way.
Yeah.
At this point, Jean has basically woken up, but instead of being in Jean's mind, they're in Charles's mind.
Because she says
it's a lot quieter.
It's a lot more peaceful in yours.
Yeah. And they talk for a bit. I can't remember exactly what about, but it basically Jean comes to the realization, I have to protect my family.
Yeah.
And she realizes she can use her powers, and she protects. She causes a massive train crash.
But she erects force fields around all of the X-Men,
who all thankfully are actually still alive, even though they just fought the Queen Alien.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have surprised me if they decided to just axe off 1 or 2 of them to show how strong the Queen was.
I mean, they axed off the 2 nameless ones, the one with the weird hair powers and the other psychic.
Didn't she throw him out the train?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But they didn't kill. He's X-Men adjacent. Let's just go with that. They didn't kill any of the main X-Men.
Yeah,
besides
they
Raven.
killed red shirts, basically.
Yes.
They were red shirts.
So she causes the train crash, but the Queen Alien walks up to her. And basically the final clash is between the 2 of them. And it's not really a clash, more of...
She's once again trying to absorb the power.
But Jean understands and is gonna overload her sensors, because too much pink energy is dangerous.
Too much Phoenix energy is dangerous.
But even at this point, the Queen's like, if you kill me, you're gonna kill them.
Because you start to see Scott's hands start to...
And the others are the same things happening to them slightly.
Yeah, but what's weird is that once she reins her powers in, his hand just comes back together. We never see any example of that happening anywhere else.
He is the one to snap her, basically say, be her emotional center.
Yeah, and
get her
so the alien queen says, your emotions make you weak. So Jean blasts them off into space, into orbit, and she's no, my emotions make me strong.
And then, boom.
Yeah.
She kills the Queen Alien and kills her human form.
She evolves
into a giant phoenix. Stop! Once is too much.
But did you even worse this time?
But they basically called it the Phoenix in a throwaway line where Scott and Jean are talking. He's like,
the kids are nicknaming you the Phoenix.
That's all we got, other than it's an astral force.
Yeah, well, basically, it's because
force.
A phoenix is a being that rises from its own ashes.
Yes. Because symbolism!
Yes.
Because they wanted to use it to... the aliens wanted to use it to resurrect the rest of their species.
Yeah, so basically, Professor Hulk using the Infinity Gauntlet, everyone comes home.
Oh yeah, and Jean also, right before she fought the Queen, she looked like a total badass just killing a bunch of aliens.
Oh yeah, basically Thanosing them.
Yeah.
At that moment in the theater, I turned to you and said, Thanos would be proud.
Even one of them tried to stab her, and it actually went through her, but she just said no. And just turned it into water, and healed herself, and just crushed the guy's head.
Yeah.
It was G be really badass.
Yeah, it kind of made me wonder what would happen if she fought Thanos, even if Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet, if she would still be able to overpower him with the Infinity Gauntlet.
So then it was like basically fade to black, but then cut back to the Charles School for Gifted Youngsters, which they did actually show. They gave Jean a burial as well,
Yeah.
with a mound of dirt and flowers. But they also renamed the school the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters, and you see Cyclops putting a plaque on the wall,
and
basically
they also,
his way to grieve.
And they also show that Beast is now
headmaster.
Yeah.
He takes over for Charles.
And Charles has retired and is now just sort of hanging out.
And recreating one of the original X-Men movies. Wasn't one of them... Didn't he have a chess match with...
Oh, yes.
Yes. But
basically
also...
a callback.
Yes, callback. But also, Storm becomes a teacher, and she's showing off her electricity to the students. And Quicksilver, I think he also is a teacher or something.
No, but a funny line is like kids running in the halls like, hey, slow down, you don't want to get hurt. No running in the halls.
I still wonder what his role will be like in in Jean Grey's school, I guess.
We'll never find out because this is the last X-Men movie with these characters.
Fox X-Men movie, even.
Yeah, with this cast.
And then it just ends with him in France ordering a drink and having a conversation with Eric.
Yeah.
Which is completely a callback. Even in Eric's speech, he's like, they're about to play chess, but Eric's like, a long time ago, you saved my life and gave me a home. Now I want to do for you the same.
So basically it's saying he's offering a place in his little sanctuary town.
And Charles does not want to play a game, but Magneto holds his hands up and he's like, just one game. And
for old time's sake.
And even though theoretically Charles could just read his mind and pick the color, but he just taps his hand and they're about to play chess when it fades, when it ends. It just ends like that, basically.
One thing I wonder...
we also had a monologue from Jean about coming back. She even said, this is not the last you'll see of me. Like, I will be back, basically. Like,
if Disney allows it.
Yes. I kind of hope they do.
Yeah, because I want to see Jean Grey in the MCU. I want to see the Phoenix in the MCU.
And honestly, this did not feel like they were trying to end the franchise. Fox, this is not one of those franchise-ending movies. Like, it didn't have that feel.
I mean, if anything, Logan had more of that tone.
Yeah, because everyone was dead. Even Logan. Like, they're...
But it was also basically stated Logan was an alternate timeline.
Yes.
It wasn't necessarily canon.
It is... Well, it's based... It is... Not canon, but it's based off a comic.
Yes, but that comic was non-canon. It was an alternate story, alternate timeline.
Old Man Logan or Death of Logan?
Old Man Logan.
It's based off multiple things, like Death of Logan, Old Man Logan.
I'm assuming all of them are alternate timeline stuff.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Old Man Logan was... I don't think Old Man Logan was supposed to be an alternate timeline, but...
Whatever.
Because...
My point stands.
Because in Old Man Logan, the Hulk also was an old man who also had a family, and they were basically rednecks. And Logan lived on land that was owned by Hulk, and he didn't give him a payment, so Hulk ate him, and then he revived in the Hulk's stomach and cut his way out.
Okay. Sure glad that wasn't in the movie.
And also Charles killed all the Logan killed all the X-Men because Mysterio created an illusion that that everyone in the X Mansion were bad guys. So Wolverine went around killing them, but when the illusion ended, it turned out he had just killed all the kids and everyone at the X Mansion.
Anakin.
Instead of what the movie did was with Charles accidentally wiping them out with a telekinetic blast that he couldn't control. Yeah.
Psychic seizure. But
no, it was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's like there was nothing egregious about it. Like there were things you could point out as
like the alien villains were just like really generic and
they were
blank.
They were forced in there for the X-Men to fight somebody else other than themselves, and for that I'm glad they were there. Yeah, I didn't really want to see the X-Men just fighting themselves.
But they're basically just the Skrulls minus any personality.
But other than that, like, other than, I'd say some of the X-Men didn't get much character development, like Storm, or, like, they didn't get much dialogue, other than a couple of lines.
They wanted to focus on a few characters. They wanted to focus on Jean Grey,
Charles,
and Magneto, and a little bit of Beast, a little bit of
Raven, but because her death kind of sparked everything. I'd say if you're it's a worthwhile superhero movie to see.
Yeah.
Like, it's shot well. There wasn't... One of my favorite shots of the movie was, like, as we mentioned, the Jean flying into the sky. It's reflected off the middle of Cyclops' visor as they're getting smaller, flying away. Like, I thought that was a really cool shot instead of just showing them flying. Like,
well, because Cinema Wins is always pointing out eye reflections.
Yeah. But I like that kind of thing. And, like, there are lots of good character moments that had no dialogue, that were just like either empty noise or the music playing in the background.
Yeah.
With somebody grieving, basically. Like, it was really well done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth watching. I don't understand the hate. Like,
again, I don't, especially since most of the criticisms I'm seeing on the internet are like people saying that it's feminist propaganda. What feminist propaganda? More than half the cast are male, and they do just as much as the female characters, including Jean Grey. Sure, she's the focus, but she's like, all the other characters play just as much of a significant a role. I mean, there's one little line, like a throwaway line, when Raven said, to Charles, like, lately, all the women have been doing most of the work. You might as well just call us the X-women. But again, that was just a throwaway line.
And their name isn't based on man. It's the X gene and humanity. It's not supposed to be gender specific. It's based off the word humanity.
You're exhausting. Puns.
Yeah.
Deadpool. It would have been funnier though if somebody had brought up, we should be called X-Force. Wait.
Or X-People. I didn't really want the fan service. I didn't think it should be there.
The boobs.
Yes, and the fact it was only Jean. No, it didn't even they only showed them for Jean, really. Everyone else had them completely covered.
Yeah,
there were really only 4 main characters in the story that were women. Like Jean, Raven, the alien. Oh, sorry, 5. Storm, the alien, Queen Alien, and the woman that was working with Magneto.
She wasn't the main character though. Like I said, she was kind of a throwaway red shirt.
But she was still there as a character who fought, as opposed to all the rest of the characters.
Can you remember her name?
I don't even remember if he said her name.
Exactly. I remember Magneto said her name when she was flung out of the train, but I don't remember what it was.
I think I just ignored it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
She was there to fight and provide some psychic resistance to Charles.
And to be a red shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the fact that it only killed red shirts and Raven. Very little actual death.
I mean, they sorta, kinda... according to from the X-Men's point of view, Jean Grey died, but her narrative dialogue after that,
her essence is still, her spirit is still alive.
Yeah, that
just in the form of a phoenix.
Is the Phoenix Force now. That she has merged with it completely,
which is a lot better.
Changed it,
which is a lot better than the comic saying, "Oh, she's dead for good," and then randomly reviving her again by stupidly putting her in a cocoon at the bottom of the ocean, because apparently the Phoenix could do that.
Or just doing what, X-Men Last Stand did was, oh, she's crazy now, I guess Wolverine has to stab her.
Or also do what the comics did and clone her to make Madeline Pryor, who Cyclops also fell in love with, but when Jean was revived, he just went right back to Jean and ignored Madeline.
Or, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
But okay, I think this video has been going too long. We have to wrap it up.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
This is the end of This is the end of the Fox's run of superheroes.
I am Disney, master of intellectual property. Ha 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 ha.
Well,
Fox Studios, welcome to buy.
I definitely think like the Deadpool ones, Logan and Dark Phoenix are the best movies they've put out. The other ones are okay to not very good.
I would actually argue I really still do like X2, X-Men United. I really love that one.
I can see Nostalgia Critics' points as well.
True, but I still like it. I still really like it.
But definitely, if you're looking like Logan, the Deadpool movies, and Dark Phoenix are definitely the best ones out of Fox's runs, and they're all worth looking at and they're like watching in their own reasons.
Yeah. I
But
like
overall,
Days of Future Past too.
I don't think they've like butchered the X-Men as much as movies have destroyed the Fantastic Four. I think the
Origins Wolverine.
okay, that one's easy to ignore.
Origins Wolverine.
That one's easy to ignore. That's in the bad section, but I don't think it's. I think they've done better, recently, bringing the X-Men back, their reputation back than anyone's done with the Fantastic Four until Marvel gets to do it.
Yeah, X-Men Apocalypse was.
That's why I said.
I don't hate it, but it was problematic.
That's why I said
admit
okay to. It was not very good.
It had a mix of. It was a mixed bag for me. X-Men Apocalypse was a mixed bag.
But this is the end of an era, basically, in a way.
And they basically at the end of the movie said, "This is not the end of the X-Men; it is a new beginning." So
basically saying, "Hey Disney, continue." Basically, yeah, it's holding Disney and saying, "You better continue us," because I do want to see where these characters could go. Like even if it's Marvel, I would hope. My hope is maybe they don't recast. Like I would, my hope would be that they don't recast, but they just integrate these characters somehow.
What I have heard is that they're gonna recast Wolverine simply because Hugh Jackman is retiring from that role. But
that and unfortunately, Wolverine is the best-selling X-Men.
Yeah.
So and
that. I imagine they probably would have tried to get Hugh Jackman if Hugh Jackman wanted to do it, but he's basically went on record saying he'd only reprise his role if it's in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, that and
which I want to see, by the way. Give us Deadpool versus Wolverine. I want to see that.
That and I can understand because Wolverine has so many stories that are linked to the Avengers that they might want to use. That it would. I wish they would use X-23, but I can understand why they're not going to. Because he's been an Avenger, he's done so many things with the Avengers. It makes sense if they want to adapt those stories to use Wolverine.
I just really hope that whoever they cast can pull it off as well as Hugh Jackman, but I don't know.
And thinking about it, Linkard does the thing where they normally talk about commercials they saw, or previews they saw for movies.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you remember from what we saw? Gemini Man.
Oh yeah, with Will Smith and Will Smith.
As a young Will Smith fighting an old Will Smith.
Clone Saga.
That's exactly what I said!
Yeah. At first before we saw the trailer, we thought it was it's a psychological movie where it's Fight Club or whatever, but no, it's actually a spy thriller where, the older Will Smith is the best, assassin that there is, and they've tried to send so many people to go after him to take him down until they finally decide to clone him and send his clone after him.
You made a man out of another man. I think was one of the lines in the trailer, but other than that, I can't remember any of the other trailers.
Yeah.
But, go watch it.
Yes.
And maybe we'll be back with Men in Black at some point.
Yeah.
Or Shaft. I don't know. I might actually just go see that on my own. I don't know yet. Because I know you said you're gonna be busy next weekend. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but.
So, I have been Ace keeping up your sleeve. Which and don't turn it into a gambit card and make it explode.
I'm that weird X-Man. Bye.
Why? Yeah, we never did get that Gambit movie, did we? Bye.
I think they might be still working on it.
Yeah, well, that's not happening now. Bye.
No, it's not.
Bye.